A warehouse at the western end of Lovejoy Road in Fort Walton Beach, Florida is home for 3 interrelated organizations: Florida One Disaster Medical Assistance Team, or DMAT, a federal team that's part of the National Disaster Medical System under the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, a State of Florida Medical Response Team, Region 1 State Medical Response Team, or SMRT 1, one of 6 in the state of Florida, and Florida One DMAT, Inc., a not-for-profit corporation. The teams and our 501c3 corporation are an integral part of the Emerald Coast Healthcare Coalition. The National Disaster Medical System, NDMS, was formed in 1984 as a part of the Public Health Service in the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, as a public-private partnership between several branches of the federal government and private healthcare institutions. Its purpose was to provide medical evacuation and definitive care in the U.S. for military casualties returning from wars overseas. A secondary mission of the system was to supplement state and local medical resources during disasters and emergencies. In 1988, as the structure of NDMS changed and disaster medical assistance teams were formed, such a team, Florida One DMAT, was established here in Northwest Florida by a group of dedicated professionals willing to serve. When the state of Florida stood up similar intrastate teams, the members of the federal team became the core for the Region 1 State Medical Response Team. Some state team members cannot be part of the federal team due to either being active duty military or federal employees. The teams are composed of around 150 physicians, physician assistants, nurse practitioners, nurses, pharmacists, psychologists, psychiatric social workers, paramedics, emergency medical technicians, firefighters, law enforcement officers, and everyday citizens willing to support in the time of need. Aside from medical personnel, the focus of both teams, citizen volunteers provide logistics, administrative, security, and communications support as well. Most members' hours are purely voluntary, and for some involve hundreds and hundreds of volunteer hours yearly. When deployed as part of the DMAT, the federal team, we are HHS interim federal employees. Our motto is anytime, anywhere, and we've developed a national reputation of being able to deliver on that motto. Florida One DMAT typically deploys elsewhere in the United States or on occasion outside the United States, whenever and wherever an event takes place where the local health infrastructure is overwhelmed. Some recent changes in direction of federal policy focusing on whole community response will enable our federal team to support local communities here in the Emerald Coast. Region 1 SMRT, the state team, serves a similar function but within the state of Florida. There are 3 of these gatekeeper units, shown here, in the state, and one of these is housed at the team's warehouse in Fort Walton Beach. All team members must be totally self-sufficient for at least the first 72 hours when deployed, including food, shelter, and personal care provisions. Each team member at all times has all necessary equipment packed and ready to go on very short notice. No small personal expense on the part of each team member. Some examples of where we have deployed include Hurricane Andrew in South Florida, Hurricane Marilyn, Hurricane Opal, Hurricane Fran, the Summer Olympics bombing in Atlanta, Hurricane George, the Texas floods in 1998, Hurricane Floyd in South Carolina, the 2001 presidential inauguration, wildland fires on the Florida East Coast, Ground Zero following 9/11 in New York, the Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City, assisting the USDA during the avian flu outbreak in the northeastern U.S., during a neonatal mortality pandemic in Guam, one of our team members was deployed, the G8 Summit, Hurricane Charlie, Hurricane Francis, Hurricane Jean, the Super Bowl in Jacksonville, Hurricane Dennis, Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Rita, Hurricane Wilma, Hurricane Gustav, Hurricane Ike, the 2009 presidential inauguration, the Haiti earthquake, and Superstorm Sandy. Our 501c3 not-for-profit corporation was initially established as an umbrella entity to fill in the blanks for our teams. While our caches and major equipment needs are funded by either the state of Florida or the Department of Health and Human Services, there are many costs to enable us to continue to be the best of the best. Our 501c3 corporation serves to bridge the gaps between what we need and what's provided by the state or feds so that we can better serve the state and nation when called upon. As federal and state funds have diminished, we recognize that our 501c3 corporation needs to serve an even more significant role for us to continue to be the preeminent organization that we are recognized to be. We need additional equipment to better serve in the time of need. As mentioned, members spend substantial personal funds for deployment equipment, and we would like to be able to assist in offsetting some of those expenses. At the team support level, the funds are used for things such as the 6 extra bags of equipment that we take with us on every deployment. All equipment provided by the 501c3 and not state or federal resources. At the team support level, the funds are used for things such as the 6 extra bags of equipment that we take with us on every deployment. All this equipment provided by the 501c3 and not state or federal sources. A forklift we acquired to speed up the cache loading process. Rosolo bags purchased to enhance better quality care for pediatric patients. Rubber-made chests in which we repacked all cache equipment in order that all care elements could be person movable, since our medical cache was not supplied in rugged storage containers, and we took the initiative to do so. Our first strike primary response trailer. 2 trucks, Big Red and Great White. Great White is used for general transportation and towing our primary response trailer, and Big Red is used for deploying our medical cache for the state team. Both trucks are aging, and Big Red should be a truck equipped with a lift gate to limit possible injury to team members when loading and unloading the equipment cache. Any truck dealer could become our transportation sponsor, and we would prominently display their support. Cash funds are sometimes used on deployments to provide some additional sustenance to our members while deployed in the way of snacks, beverages, or cash for any team member who has an unexpected financial emergency while deployed. These are things that are not part of federal or state support. There is a great deal more that we would like to do to make our team even better, but both federal and state budgetary limitations are making that even more difficult. In order to provide better service to our community, we'd like to acquire more defibrillators, more oxygen systems, and similar equipment normally found on ambulances for use at local community events that we support. If you would like to become acquainted with our team and what we do, we have regular meetings the second Saturday of every month at our warehouse at the far western end of Lovejoy Road. The address is 755 Lovejoy Road, and the warehouse is directly across the street from the Okaloosa County Animal Shelter. Our meetings start at 10 a.m. and typically end by noon. In addition to team business, we conduct focused training at every monthly session to improve our members' ability to function even more effectively when deployed. You are more than welcome to join us any month to see our equipment and learn more about what we do. We welcome your support to help us improve the team's readiness and performance. Support can come in the form of participation, in-kind donations, or financial contributions to our 501c3 corporation, Florida One DMAT, Inc. The time may come that our teams may be helping right where you live. Please feel free to visit us and get acquainted.